Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and today I am cleaning a move out, and this is a townhouse actually, and it is the carpet's about 25 years old, and overall, actually, considering the age, it's actually in good shape, but it is showing its age. Right in this area right here, obviously I guess there was a desk here, and there's the edge where the carpet protector was on the floor, and right along here it's the most soiled, but it's also very worn. The pile is very, very distorted in there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's all mushroomed out and quite worn. But otherwise, the carpet really actually is not bad. There are quite a few bleached out looking spots on the carpet, and you can see one right there, for example, and another over there. Quite a few, and another master bedroom's got more as well. That usually that type of a spotting or discoloration, more often than not, is caused by the customer using something that's to take out a spot that actually takes out the color of the carpet. I think Spot Shot is famous for doing that. Anyway, I'm doing this room as well, and there's actually, or there was, a lot of, you see these brownish stains all over the place. I treated them with, as I was pre-vacuuming, I treated them with my All Rug product, which has ClO2 in it at 2,000 parts per million. And that often will take out any of these color spots, not always, but I have other things to deal with that if that needs to be addressed. But we'll see what happens as I actually do the cleaning. The carpet does have, you can see this patch right here, that darker patch. That's not actually soiling as much as it is actually the effect that we call pooling and shading, where the carpet will lean one way and then lean the other way, and you get this shading effect that happens. Of course, under here, it's probably never seen the light of day, I guess. And there is a color change going on the carpet, much more pronounced to the master bedroom, which we'll see in a sec. I got this hallway to do, the set of stairs. You can see the pooling and shading on the steps quite pronounced. There's actually a kind of an edge along right where my finger is pointing there, where the pile sort of takes a different direction and kind of goes all tangled looking, which is typical when you get that pooling and shading effect. You have the pile typically laying one way and then laying the other way, and then where the two directions kind of meet, it kind of goes all crazy with fibers not knowing which direction to go. I kind of relate it to pooling and shading and these weird looking lines that get, I kind of equate that to like parting of your hair. Hair goes one way, hair goes the other way. For those of us, or you, who still have hair. I don't have so much on top. That's why I'm growing it on the bottom of my face now, because I can't grow it on the top. Anyway. This is the master bedroom. Obviously, the bed's been sitting here all this time, and this is the amount the carpet has faded, which is pretty significant. But this window right here, obviously, is a major source of light coming in here. Oh, I think I see a pin. Oh, look at that. Didn't pick it up with the vacuum. Oh. Anyway. And again, there's you can see there's a light patch there. So there's these light and dark patches. There's a few of them here. Depending on how the light hits the carpet, I can see them. There's more over here. Light patches. So that is usually caused by, like I said, Spot Shot is famous for doing that. So I suspect somebody might have been trying to get out some stains. And there is quite a few of these brown spots. A lot of them actually have faded out since I treated them already with the All Rug with the ClO2 in it. But the lady that showed me this place, it's her parents' place, she thought that they were probably Coke, because apparently there was I guess a teenager was here living in this room, and these stains here she thought were probably Coke. But we'll see what happens when I go over with the machine. I did bring my, we got the proxy here, which works very well for dealing with color stains like added stains like Coke. It would work with that usually, and urine and coffee and things like that. So this is a really good product, readily available. I have the other version of this, which is the 2-part vanish system, but I find this works almost every time, and there's no mixing, so I kind of prefer to use that one. So I've got, how much have I got in here? Just not quite a gallon and a half of solution. I think that'll be enough. We're going to find out. Maybe I'll only use a gallon or less. We'll see. And I'm using Nanomax at 2 ounces per gallon. I haven't boosted it. I considered it, but I don't think I'm going to need it in this case, because this is a nylon. They usually clean, and a 25-year-old nylon, and they usually clean quite readily. The only place that I have treated is I did treat this area right here with all rug, and I did pre-spot with the all rug on any of the obvious stains that I could see. Other than that, I have not pre-sprayed anything. And so we'll turn it on, and away we go. This is a hog chair fiber pad underneath here, and you can see it's just ripping the soil out of there instantly, pretty much. Kind of a weird room. It's got quite a step coming up into here. Technically it's not a legal room because there's no windows in here. But I actually owned a house a few years ago where we had a basement area that had no room, had no bedroom there or anything. And it was kind of a wasted, it was a big area, but kind of wasted because it would have been a great place to have a room, but there was no window. But that's when I had a brief sojourn in Manitoba, in Steinbeck actually. It's a long story. Kind of one of those errors I made. But anyway, my wife's uncle was a builder, and we talked to him about it, and he said no problem, we can put a window in there, but it was buried in the ground. So I had to dig down a few feet on the wall and make a space, and then we rented this I guess it was a chainsaw, or sort of like a chainsaw with a specialized chain to cut through the very thick concrete foundation wall, and then we were able to get a window in there, and it worked, and it made the house more sellable, so we were able to, it's a long story, but anyway, the house having that extra room, or ability to add that extra room, made it a more sellable house. But anyway, that was in 2011, I guess. Spent a winter in Manitoba. My wife's actually from there, and it had to do with, I was feeling that maybe she should, might be best for her to be near her family as we get older, but it turned out to be a bad idea, and her parents actually had gone there, and then came back, but we were going there. We were all going to be there because our parents are actually living here in Kelowna. But the plan was we were all going to move back to Manitoba. But anyway, it just all kind of fell apart, and it was almost a financial disaster, a serious financial disaster for us, because we actually tried to sell the business. We almost had it sold. Thankfully, we didn't. In the end, we decided we're going to do this anyway. We were basically shut down the business. We left. Got there. I started to try to generate business. It was like hitting a brick wall. We were going through money like crazy, obviously. And it was a few months down the road, and the end was in sight of our assets that we had a good amount of money from the sale of our house because it had gone up so much in value. We actually owned 2 houses there for a while, paying mortgage on 2 houses, one in BC, one in Manitoba. But anyway, we were seeing the end in sight, and I was thinking, okay, we gotta sell the house we were in Steinbach and moving closer to Winnipeg, find something smaller and, you know, lower price point or whatever. And we were driving around in Winnipeg, kind of looking at different neighborhoods and everything, and it just suddenly hit me. I just turned to my wife and I said, I have to go back. We can't make this work. And it was a very, very difficult time, but I had to do it. I had a friend, thankfully, in Kelowna who offered a place for me to stay in his basement. Had a room available, and I just basically packed up a moving truck with my van, which was my Uplander, on a trailer behind my business van with what I needed, and came back to Kelowna all by myself. And I was trying to remember what we had actually canceled the phone number and everything, but before we did, we were still monitoring what was happening for calls, and the business was still, the calls were still coming in like all the time, every day calls coming in. But you know, we'd moved away. We kept trying to sell it for a little while afterwards, and then we decided, okay, that's it, we can't do this, we got to just let it go. Canceled the phone number, and then when I decided a couple of months later, no, we can't, this is not going to work. So we thought, oh boy, we really screwed this up. So we contacted the phone company to see if the phone number was still available, knowing that was highly unlikely. But what do you know, it was. So we were so thankful that God had helped us out by making sure that didn't happen, making sure the business didn't sell, because I was being dumb about it, that's for sure. That's a long story. But anyway, so I came back to Kelowna, and the very first day I was back, the phone was, reconnected. The calls were starting to come in. I had, a few jobs pretty much right away, but not a lot. So I went around to a few different, I decided, okay, I'm going to go around to some facilities, like care facilities or condos and whatever, see if I can get a decent job right off the bat. And I went to, there's a seniors assisted living, independent living and assisted living complex, a big one, very big one in Kelowna. And I went there and found the facilities manager and said, I'm from Oxy-Dry, and are you interested in getting your carpets cleaned? Or I can't remember exactly what I said to him, and he said, yeah, sure. give us a quote. So I did a quote, and they said, okay, go ahead and do it. And it was like almost immediately they said yes. I mean, I literally went out, and the job actually ended up being, they added to the initial job quote that I gave them. I think the initial quote was around $6,000, but by the time I finished the job, it was about $10,000 worth of work that I scheduled, like almost immediately. Within a couple of days, I was in there doing all these hallways and the units, and in the end, I ended up even doing a whole back of furniture, and I was just so amazing. Big, huge job. The very first day that I got back, so I thought, oh, clearly this is where I'm supposed to be, and I obviously missed my wife very much, and she even missed me. And then but we were apart for about 4 months. I think it was about 2 months in, she got very, very sick. Turned out to be in the hospital there, we're in Steinbach. We couldn't figure out what her problem was. She was just getting very, very ill. Ended up going to the emergency 2 or 3 times. Just didn't know what the heck was going on with her. And then one night, I think it was around midnight or so, she phoned me up, and she was in bad shape. She just said, Robin, I need you to be here. I need you here right now. And I was like, oh man, I've never heard her like that before. And never want to again. And I knew right away that she was in trouble. And so I said, I'm coming. I'll get on the very first plane that I can. I got off the phone. I went on my laptop. Made an appointment for 7 o'clock flight the next morning. Next morning, I was on a 7 o'clock flight to Manitoba. In the end, she ended up being okay. It was a gallstone that was creating all the problem, but the hospital staff out there in Steinbach couldn't figure it out. I think she did recover, and then it wasn't until she came to Kelowna and she went to a doctor here, and then they figured out what was going on, and she's had a few times where it's bothered her, but not like that. So she's okay now. But that was our Manitoba experience. And yeah, we learn that what works in one place may not work in another. I actually spent a lot of time while I was there. I did a lot of legwork. Went around to there was like quite a number of property management companies out there, and I went around to all of them. And driving around Winnipeg, of course, I wasn't familiar with Winnipeg at all. It's from going to point A to point B can be quite the experience because of the way the city's laid out. Because there is, it's awkward, put it that way. And anyway, we spent money on marketing, and of course it was winter by the time we got there, which was bad because winter there is just really bad. And just before I decided that I couldn't stay there, we were scheduled to go and we were going to do a home show. And I think it was February. And I even bought display, and I bought a spot and everything. And in the end, I realized, as I said, I realized I just had to leave, and I couldn't get the refund on that. So that was all part of the rather large loss of probably about $100,000 or so that we lost on that whole poor decision. So my main reason for doing it is I was just wanting to have my wife be near her family, but it just wasn't the right thing for us to do, and it turned out that the family wasn't what she had hoped and expected they would be for her, and that has been proven since. So in the end, We know that we're where we are supposed to be, and we're blessed, and I came back and had to kind of get the business back on its feet again, but I was able to do that, and it just continued to grow and grow and grow since then. So that was my story. Now we're going to go out here. I'm going to do that with the Iron Man, in case you're wondering, the closet that is. I don't need to go in there with the fiber pad. So I'm going to turn around and pull my wire behind me, because it's just awkward dealing with the wire. If you grab the wire and it goes around on your drive block or whatever, that can be fun. So it is cleaning really well. There's a colored stain in that bedroom that I see that didn't disappear as I was going over it, completely anyway. So I'll be putting epoxy on there in a minute. Oh, by the way, there's the pad from that one room. It's pretty grubby. So I'm just taking my time. There were a few spots here that are now they're gone. So overall it's cleaning really well. I'm going to turn around and then pull the wire again. Alrighty. I've used nearly a gallon, I think. Oh, here's a set of stains here. We'll see what happens. Looks like some of them are coming out. I'll come back to that in a sec. Looking all right. So there's Pretty obvious color there still. It did lighten, but not 100%. So I'm going to hit that with the Proxy right now. I'll give it a little more dwell time before I come back with the Iron Man pad. There was one over here that looks like it came out. There was one in this room as well. Right over here. Okay, that'll probably be enough, I expect. I'm just under a gallon, it looks like. Just under a gallon left, that is. So this was where the bleached out spots were, over in this area. I find sometimes that people have used OxyClean. Sometimes that'll leave a whitish looking stain, but it's just actually the powder that's remaining that didn't come out completely, and when I clean it, sometimes that'll just disappear because it just needs to be cleaned out. But not always. Got a bit of a bounce going on with my pad, which is annoying. There was a couple of stains that were up along the side of the bed, and right by where the bedside table was, and it looks like they're coming out, no problem. And over on this side there was a couple of more. Someone spilled a drink or something. I can actually see the color there still a little bit. Looks like I'll need some Proxy on there. I think I see a color stain right over here too a little bit. It's very faint. Maybe they had a pet in the house, and it could be pee-pee, or maybe a the cat vomit. That would sometimes do it. Actually, will sometimes even take the color out. Looking good. This, of course, has probably never seen the light of day, where the bed was sitting. And there's a kind of all bleached out over here, a bunch of bleachy looking area there. So kind of odd that it's over there. Okay, now I have the walk-in closet. Pretty big one actually. I'm at 30 minutes now, right? And I'm basically done. Now, what I'll do is I'll do the Iron Man as a separate video, I think. And we'll scoot behind the door. Alrighty, so I'm gonna turn off the video, and we'll do the using the Iron Man as a separate video now. And if you want to watch that, it'll be next on the list, I guess. Alright, so thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye now.